Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today I am continuing my series of reviews by taking a look back at Countdown number 18. So Countdown, also known as Countdown to Final Crisis, has 51 issues, and I've been reviewing them from issue 51 down to this point, so you can check out my previous reviews with a link in the description box. So, this issue was written by Paul Dini with Sean McKeever and Keith Giffen. Scott Collins did the art, and Tom Chu did the colors, and Travis Lanham did the lettering. So, we'll start off on the cover. I think the cover is actually pretty cool. I kind of like this one. So, what you see there is Adam, Ray Palmer, and he's shrunk down, and looks like he's swimming through someone's bloodstream, so he's really tiny, and I don't know, I just think it's a cool little cover. I like coloring on it, and I like how determined he looks, like, he's on a mission. And the challengers from beyond have been searching for Ray Palmer for quite some time, so it's cool that they finally found him, and it even says on the title, "The search is over, the life and times of Ray Palmer." So, I'll go ahead and start off on the first page. So, I kind of didn't like how the issue starts, to be honest with you, and there's 2 pages, and it's just really unpleasant backstory. It pertains to some of the tragic stuff that happened to Ray Palmer in his past. You can read up on that if you want to. I'm not going to go into it here, but it's what drove him to leave, and he went to a different Earth. So he wakes up, he'd been dreaming about it, and then he goes back to bed. So then the page changes, and we're picking up with Mary Marvel and Eclipso. So we've been following them for several issues, and Mary Marvel was left out there in space. Eclipso figures now that she has been abandoned, she'll want a friend and will come back to her. She even says, left alone in deep space all this time, she ought to be a catatonic wreck by now. Finally, Mary's power can belong to me. So she's going to steal Mary's power, but Mary was just faking, basically, and see, she grabs her, and they start fighting, and I don't know. Scott Collins is a good artist, definitely, but this isn't my favorite art for this series. I think Mary and Eclipso looked a lot cooler in some of the previous issues. But Mary's super powerful and basically wins the fight, it looks like. And then we go to the next page. So this is really not one of my favorite issues of Countdown. I like the cover, and I like the Mary Marvel stuff, although the art isn't my favorite. The coloring on it's really good, but the stuff with Ray Palmer here is really boring. So it goes through quite a few pages of him talking to people, and it's alright, but it just kind of takes up a lot of time. And wow, it goes for quite a long time, but finally Ray Palmer, kind of interesting, the challengers from beyond finally show up, and they finally find him, and then there's a whole bunch of pages, and like I was saying, this really isn't one of my favorite issues. It's kind of cool because it talks a little bit about his adventures, so it said at the beginning, it kind of goes through that again, except now he's telling his family about it, but he reveals he isn't the real Ray Palmer of Earth 51, which is where he is hiding, and it shows him going to a bunch of different Earths and looking for a way to escape his memories from all the sad things that happened to him in the past, and there's a bit more backstory about him, and then it finally wraps up with this final page, and it says Bob the Monitor, and he says, "Consider yourself eliminated." So it would appear that the whole reason he was searching for Ray Palmer for the past, 30 plus issues was to kill him, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's not really cool, but it's kind of interesting because all he ever said is that Ray Palmer is the key to all this, so that by finding him, he could save the multiverse. So it was always kind of assumed that finding Ray Palmer meant they'd get him to help, and his help would save the universe, but it looks like, at least from Bob the Monitor's point of view, killing Ray is what's going to save the universe. So then we get 2 bonus pages, if you can call them that, because this time it's the origin of Dr. Light, and they talk about him a little bit, and they actually go into the identity crisis stuff, and you can read about it here on the screen. I'm not going to talk about it. A lot of people already know. I'm not going to go into it again. So yeah, that's when all this stuff was still canon. So that's the mid to late 2000s for you. It was a real dark time for DC in a lot of ways. So I like the series, but this issue was a real downer. But with a long series like this, you can't skip Really, you gotta read them all. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Be sure and hit the bell for notifications. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And as always, thank you for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.
End of line.